Here comes the field for tonight's first race as they parade behind Kathy McDonald, number 1, Daring Lie. Owned by Howard Taylor and Mary and Bruce Walls. Randy Tharps drives. 2 is Halbert Highlight. Over the Highlight stable, Brian Brown with Mike Wilder. 3, Honest Highlight, owned by John and Victoria Howard with David Miller. 4, Trouble with Harry, owned by David Stanley, Suzanne and Nicholas Allen with Ryan Holton aboard. 5, Native Dragon, owned by the Bay Racing Stable with David Hawk. 6, Game Eddie, owned by Lisa Fuller, driven by Frenchie Fuller. 7 is Lord Tinsel, owned by Doug Parker, Harry Berger, and Craig Parker with Darren Mauser. 8, Sweet and Dandy, owned by Alvin and Neil Long, and Kyrian Farms, Brad Hanners will be in the sulky. Field for the first 5 minutes till post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Lord Tinsel on the far outside takes the lead. Native Dragon, middle of the racetrack, and Halbert Highlight along the rail. Followed by Daring Lion, 4th. Honus Highlight is 5th. Game Eddie's up on the outside. Further out, Trouble with Harry and Sweet and Dandy, the tailgate. Driving to the quarter-mile pole. Everybody's away safely, including Honus Highlight. But Lord Tinsel has easily grabbed the racetrack. Native Dragon is in there second. They're flying. 27-4 past the stands. They roll to the half-mile pole. Up top, it's Lord Tinsel who leads the way. Native Dragon is in the second. First to flush. Coming with a rush, here's Honus Highlight up on the outside with Halbert Highlight along the rail. Daring Lie got the 5th in box underway. Trouble with Harry. Long shot, Game Eddie and Sweet and Dandy at 50-1 as the trailer. They're at the half-mile pole. Lord Tinsel could be tough. Sets them down at the half in 57-2. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. But here comes Honus Highlight continuing to gobble up ground on the outside with about 3/8 of a mile to pace. Lord Tinsel 3 parts of a length. Honus Highlight at his wheel disc in second. Native Dragon in third. Halbert Highlight is 4th. Daring Lie, Trouble with Harry can't go on. Game Eddie and Sweet and Dandy, they're into 3/4. Lord Tinsel, Honus Highlight is still coming 100 by 3/4 in a fast 1:25-3. Honus Highlight on the outside. Lord Tinsel digging down deep along the rail. Here comes Halbert Highlight up on the far outside. The 5 can't go on. Native Dragon, they're into the stretch. The real Honus Highlight showed up tonight. He is now under a double purple Baby Nelson, and this one is going to be fast. It's Honus Highlight, Lord Tinsel, and here's Halbert Highlight finishing third, 1:53-1. Show up tonight. 3-year-old Bay Colt by Albatross out of Time How, Hanover. Owned by John and Victoria Howard of Morgantown, West Virginia. Trained by our Gottlieb's Horseman of the Week, Virgil Morgan. Driven by David Miller to a lifetime best of 1:53-1. 3, Honus Highlight, the winner. Trainer Virgil Morgan, who is running away from the field in the Mid-America Racing Association meets trainer race at Scioto Downs, has been named the Gottlieb's Horseman of the Week. A winner of 7 of 17 starters a week ago, including last Saturday night when he won 5 of 6. Gottlieb's Bar and Restaurant of Grove City has teamed up this year with Scioto Downs to present the Horseman of the Week to the driver, trainer, caretaker, or owner who has had outstanding results. Winner receives a gift certificate to that establishment, which is a member of 55 Restaurant Group. Gottlieb's, located 2110 Stringtown Road in Grove City. 3-7 exacta, $24.60. The try, $61.40. Windows are now open on tonight's second race, scratch number 8, Moonlight Raker, sick post. Let's Rock, owned by Ralph Conley Jr., driven by Brad Hanners. 2, Southern Spirit, owned by Chester Otwood, Jeff Fout. 3, Look No Rain, owned by Joyce and Richard McClellan with Rainsman Dave Rankin. 4, Lust in the Dust, owned by Jim Borchers with David Hawk. 5, Bartolino, owned by the Paint Creek Farm with Bob Harper. 6, DC Falcon, owned by Jeff and Kevin Reed, along with driver Dean Collins. 7, Blue Ribbon, owned by Joe Sobraco and Don Latore. David Miller will be in the sulky. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. DC Falcon far outside. Let's Rock on the rail. Southern Spirit, Late Lever. Blue Ribbon is up on the far outside. Look No Rain, Lust in the Dust, and Bartolino. They drive to the quarter-mile pole. Blue Ribbon is under a drive to try to chase down DC Falcon and earn the quarter pole call. Let's Rock fills the gap in the third. This is an all-out mission right now. Southern Spirit is gapping, ranging up on the outside. Look No Rain, Lust in the Dust, and Bartolino. Thought it might be quick. 26-4. Blue Ribbon stung pretty good by DC Falcon has gained the top. Blue Ribbon by 2. DC Falcon second. Let's Rock skims the rail in third. Southern Spirit to fourth. Around the clubhouse turn. Look No Rain. Gap of 5 to Bartolino. Moving up on the outside. The trailer remains as they hit the half-mile pole. 55-2, they straighten out down the backstretch. Bouncing right along, it's Blue Ribbon on top by 2. Let's Rock comes to the outside. DC Falcon along the rail. Southern Spirit is being sent. Ranging up on the outside, Look No Rain, Bartolino, and the trailer is now Lust in the Dust. Side by side and stride for stride into three quarters. Blue Ribbon on top by a head. Let's Rock on the outside now takes over. Let's Rock on top by a half a length. They're flying 124-1. Driving around the far turn. Let's Rock on the outside of Blue Ribbon. David Miller's already drawn the sword. In between horses, DC Falcon up on the far outside. Southern Spirit driving wide and hard. Look No Rain. They're into the stretch. Moving away on top. Let's Rock. Let's Rock on top, but he's not home free yet. DC Falcon is shaken free. Look No Rain on the far outside, but Let's Rock is going to roll to command. Tight for second between Look No Rain and 6 DC Falcon. Here's Brad Hanners and Let's Rock, a 3-year-old bay colt by Dragon's Lair out of Castellets. Owned in Miamisburg by Ralph Conley Jr., trained by Virgil Morgan Jr., and driven by Brad Hanners to a lifetime best of 154-1. Let's Rock, the winner. 1-3 exacta, 1460. The try, 160-180. Tonight's Virgil Morgan daily double, $13.80. Windows are now up and on tonight's third race. Superfecta wagering. Scratch number 4, Bubba Gump. Scratch the 4. Post time at 8:13. Here comes the field for tonight's third race. Trophy by Grove City Lane. Superfecta. Scratch number 4, Bubba Gump. 1 DL Sam, owned by Charles Autry. Bob Harper drives. 2 King of the Blues, owned by Richard Van Meter, Randy Owens, and Melvin Riviello, driven by Brad Hanners. 3 Juarez Hanover, owned by Don and Carol Lehman. Driver is Del S. Miller. 4 Bubba Gump has been scratched by the judges. 5 Laughter in the Rain, owned by Richard Lee Mabra with Rocky Stidham. 6 Scrappy Yeti, owned by Walter Kaplinger with Carol Smith. 7 Nardy Jeff, owned by Richard and Peggy Payne. Dave Hawk will be in the sulky. Field for the third, Trophy by Grove City Lane. Superfecta scratch the 4. 6 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Laughter in the Rain takes the lead. King of the Blues, DL Sam, Juarez Hanover, they're all out for the lead. Followed by Scrappy Yeti and Nardy Jeff as they battle for command in the first 1/8 of a mile. King of the Blues leads the way. Juarez Hanover driving wide and hard. Up the rail, DL Sam looking for a seat. Laughter in the Rain. Filling the gap, Scrappy Yeti and Nardy Jeff, and they are in full throttle here to the quarter-mile pole. Juarez Hanover gets them by the opening quarter in 27 flat. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Juarez Hanover by a length. Laughter in the Rain. The Paul Anka journeys up on the outside, followed by King of the Blues, the pocket sitter, in third. Followed by DL Sam in fourth. Scrappy Yeti and Nardy Jeff on the outside. No quarter asked, no quarter given here at the half-mile pole. Along the rail, Juarez Hanover alongside, Laughter in the Rain, 55-3 up the backstretch. Juarez Hanover trying to make every pole and winning one, stays there. Trying to chase him down in the rim, Laughter in the Rain. King of the Blues has not left the building yet. Here's DL Sam driving up on the outside. Scrappy Eddie and Nardy Jeff racing to three-quarters. Laughter in the Rain on the outside gets the short lead. Here's DL Sam up on the outside. Juarez Hanover is fighting back. King of the Blues still watching these festivities from fourth. On the far outside, Scrappy Eddie and Nardy Jeff can't go on. 125-2. Top of the stretch. They're in the stretch. DL Sam on the outside. Juarez Hanover is fighting back with every stride. Nearest the rail, King of the Blues racing through the stretch. It's DL Sam on top. King of the Blues is now shaken free along the rail, but this is the night for DL Sam. It's DL Sam going to be tight between King of the Blues. Juarez Hanover, Laughter in the Rain will finish fourth. Sam, 5-year-old brown gelding by Anxious Robbie out of Skipper J. Sarah. Owned in Cincinnati by Charles Autry, trained by David Perry. Driven by Bobby Harper to cover the mountain, 156. Number 1, DL Sam, the unofficial winner of tonight's third race. 2, King of the Blues second. 3, Juarez Hanover third. 5, Laughter in the Rain was fourth. Result of race 3, now official. Windows open on the fourth. No changes in the fourth. Fifth race, scratch the 8 off the program. Max Public Enemy. No changes in the sixth. Final leg of the early pick 3. Folks, this result is official. We are waiting for some money. Next, here comes the field for tonight's fourth race. Start of the early pick 3. The only change is in race 5, where number 8, Max Public Enemy, has been scratched off the program. Number 1 is Breadbox, owned by Clarence and Rhonda Gillum, driven by Ralph Leo Grande. 2, Notorio, owned by the Paint Creek Farms with David Miller. 3 is Roadster Sabra, owned by the Shure Cohen Racing Limited, driven by Del S. Miller. 4, Scott G. Baker, owned by Orville Miller. Patty Moeller, Brad Hanner's aboard. 5, Funtime Go-Getter, owned by FTF Incorporated with Bob Harper. 6, Bannock, owned by Dean Collins and Diane Elliott, driven by Dean Collins. 7 is Too Much Monkey Business, owned by Roy Murphy and Larry King. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Field for race 4, start of the early pick 3, 5 minutes till post time. Field for race 4 is moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Notorio with a rush between horses takes the lead. Funtime Go-Getters up on the outside and Roadster Sabra along the rail. Redbox gapping early to fourth as they make their way to the turn. Scott G. Baker, Bannock, and Too Much Monkey Business, and they are at war right now. Notorio on top by a head. Funtime Go-Getter up on the outside second, followed by Roadster Sabra in third. Looks like a sub-27. There it is, 26-2. Speeding past the stands to the half-mile pole. Notorio along the rail. Right alongside in second, Funtime Go-Getter. He finally backs off and now taking over the deuce. Roadster Sabra, Funtime Go-Getter third. Redbox begins to close in, followed by Scott G. Baker in the gray. Too Much Monkey Business, and at the end, Bannock. They're at the half-mile pole, and here comes Ralph Leo Grande with a rush. Breadbox on the outside of Notorio in 56-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Breadbox on the outside now sticks his nose, his head, his neck in front. Breadbox goes zooming on by. Notorio is fighting back along the rail. Here's Scott G. Baker up on the outside and Roadster Sabra the gray. On the far outside, Too Much Monkey Business, Funtime Go-Getter, and Bannock. Racing by three-quarters, Breadbox secures the top spot. Rolling by three-quarters, 124, that quarter, 27-4. Moving around the far turn. Breadbox by a length. Scott G. Baker is the only opposition right now. A gap of 5 lengths, Too Much Monkey Business on the outside of Notorio. Little more than a 16th of a mile to pace. Breadbox has got the lead by a widening 2. Scotchy Baker's up on the outside, but he's not good enough. Breadbox is leaving the field. Breadbox, Scotchy Baker, Bannock coming on third. Here comes the unofficial winner of race number 4, One Breadbox. 4-year-old bay horse by Rocky Bogart out of Roxanne H. Owned by Clarence and Rhonda Gillum of Chillicothe. Ran and trained by Ralph Leo Grande to a confident victory here in 153-1 and established a nice lifetime best. Number 1, Breadbox, the winner of tonight's 4th race. 1-4 exacta, $31.40, $31.40. Windows are open on the 5th, 4,600 in the twin trifecta carryover. Scratch number 8, Max Public Enemy, scratch the 8. 7th race, scratch 9, Hornblower. 7th race, scratch number 9, Hornblower. Post time is 8:58. Here's the rundown of the 4th. It's a barber pole. It's the same way they came under the finish line. Breadbox the winner, Notorio 4th, Roadster Sabra 6th, Scotchy Baker 2nd, Fun Time Go Getter 7th, Bannock was 3rd, Too Much Monkey Business finished 5th. 1, 4, 6, 2, 7, 3, and 5, and the mile was 153-1. Here comes the field for tonight's 5th race as they pray to the post. 4,600 in tonight's twin trifecta carryover. Number 1 is Osborne's Gigolo, owned by Bill M., driven by David Hawk. 2, King and Doctor, owned by Tim Wright, driven by Randy Tharps. 3, U.S. News, owned by Chet Dubry with Darren Mauser. 4, Dr. Jack, owned by Bruce Burke, Larry Samuels, and Sheldon Sinai with David Miller aboard. 5, Shannon Post Time, owned by Marmick Incorporated with driver Dean Collins. 6, Rich Pick, owned by Harry Hart with Bob Harper. 7 is Pudman, owned by John Oldfield with Jeff Fout. The 8 has been scratched. 9, Propitious Lad, owned by Roy Murphy with Mike Wilder. 10, He's Promising, owned by Charles Curran Jr. Ryan Holton will be in the sulky. Field for race 5, scratch the 8, post time in 6 minutes. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Shannon Post Time takes the lead. Rich Pick, Pudman the far outside. Osborne's Gigolo along the rail. King and Dr. Jack on the outside. As they move to the quarter-mile pole from out of the second tier, He's Promising, U.S. News. And the trailer to the top turn is Propitious Lad. They're scrambling now for position of the quarter-mile pole. The white hood is on the move. Osborne's Gigolo, and along the rail, Rich Pick, they open up in 28 seconds flat. They're 2 deep past the stands to the half-mile pole. Brushing to the front, it's Osborne's Gigolo. First the flush. Coming with a rush, Dr. Jack on the outside, making an early house call from second. He's going to go right to command. Dr. Jack drives away on 2 and looks to bid these guys an early good night. Dr. Jack opens up 3 lengths at the half-mile pole. Osborne's Gigolo is now in there second, followed by Rich Pick in third. King and Doctor's up on the outside. Along the rail, Shannon Post Time, underway from the back, Pudman. Starting up on the far outside, He's Promising, U.S. News is along the rail, and Propitious Lad, 56-3, up the backstretch. Dr. Jack, 3 on a nickel, bouncing right along. Osborne's Gigolo in second. King and Doctor's up on the outside. Rich Pick on the rail. Racing by 3/4 in 126. They'll pace the turn and come on home. Looks like a formality now as Dr. Jack has opened up about 4 lengths. Osborne's Gigolo is second by 2. Rich Pick saving ground up on the outside. King and Doctor, they're into the stretch. Coming home with a piano in his mouth, it's Dr. Jack. He's now being set down for the drive. It's Dr. Jack Osborne's Gigolo, Life and Death to hold second. King and Doctor gets the Scioto. The streaking Dr. Jack. 5-year-old bay gelding by Sweet Meadow Doc out of Got a Dream. Owned by Bruce Burke of Bexley, Larry Samuels and Sheldon Sinai of Columbus. Giving trainer Virgil Morgan his third victory on the program. David Miller a double. Dr. Jack makes it 5 in a row and a lifetime best of 155-2. For Dr. Jack, the winner. 4-1 exact to $12. 4-1-2, $1 twin trifecta, first half payoff, $17.30. Windows are now open on race 6, exact and trifecta wagering, post time in 15 minutes. Here comes the field for tonight's 6th race. Midway point of our 12-race program, 1 Bunny Scoop, owned and driven by Debbie Day. 2 Rosemont Student, owned by Verl Barrett, and the driver is Lanny Merriman. 3 Jerry Direct, owned by Rebecca Jill Dwyer with Brad Hanners. 4 Noble Chairman, owned by Molly Farmer and Joanne Armbruster with Del S. Miller. 5 I Carl's DJ, owned by Carl Gregg with David Myers in the bike. 6 Rambo Lane, owned by Jeffrey and Kevin Reed and David Miller. 7 Samarama, owned by Marianne Georges and the Do You Mind If I Dance With Your Date stable. Mike Welder is in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time. Field for tonight's 6th race at the gate and moving through the turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Noble Chairman between horses takes the lead. Bunny Scoot along the rail. Driving up on the outside, I Carl's DJ there down the backstretch. Followed by Jerry Direct on the big horse. Rosemont Student to the turn. Rambo Lame and Samarama as they battle for position and the lead into the opening quarter-mile pole. Bunny Scoot and Debbie Day are being sent right along. Bunny Scoot has got the top. Noble Chairman second. They open up here in 27-1. Quickly past the stands to the half-mile pole. Bunny Scoot rolling right along. Bunny Scoot gap of 2.5 to Noble Chairman. Here comes Rosemont Student up on the outside. Jerry Direct will get caught in along the rail fourth. Rambo Lane is up on the outside. I Carl's DJ in the tailgate. Samaramba Ding Dong. They're at the half-mile pole. Bunny Scoot finding this journey hair-raising so far. Bunny Scoot takes them past the half, 56-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Bunny Scoot continues to lead the way. Rosemont Student drives up on the outside second. Noble Chairman third. Jerry Direct in fourth. Fifth on the outside. Rambo Lane far outside. Samarama and I Carl's DJ. Side by side and stride for stride as they race to 3/4. Bunny Scoot has now opened up about a 2-length advantage. She's flying right now, 124-4. Bunny Scoot a length and a half. Rosemont Student is still game on the outside second. Rambo Lane on the far outside. Further out, here comes Samarama. They're 7 wide in the drive, and Debbie Day draws the sword and brings them on home. Bunny Scoot on top by ahead. Rosemont Student on the outside now gets the lead. Here comes Jerry Direct rocking to command. It's Rosemont Student. Jerry Direct up second. Bunny Scoot third. Comes the tough hard hitter. Number 2, Rosemont Student. 8-year-old bay gelding by Walton Handler out of Tiffany's Triumph. Owned in Dayton, Pennsylvania by Verl Barrett. Rain and trained by Lanny Merriman to cover the mile here in 153-3. He's got a lifetime best of 151-4. Number 2, Rosemont Student, the unofficial winner of tonight's 6th race. Windows open on the 7th. Scratch 9 Hornblower. Scratch number 9 Hornblower will set a post when race 6 becomes official. Here comes the field for tonight's 7th race as they parade to the house behind. Parade Marshal Kathy McDonald. Number 1 is Captain Smitty, owned by James Veach. Gerald Jolliffe. Jay Veach drives. 2, Rambo Robbie, owned by Tom Ryan with Darren Mauser. 3, Sterling, Ohio, owned by Charles Dillander Jr., and the driver is Randy Tharps. 4, Behold, owned by Chad Folk, driven by Jeff Fout. 5, Canvasback Rival, owned by Big Chuck Grubbs. Brad Hanner's in the bike. 6, Salante Spur, owned by Alex Spence Jr., and the driver is David Hawk. 7, Dance on Air, owned by Keith Noble and David Miller. 8 is Ever Easy, owned by Charles and William Wingfield with Mike Wilder. Scratch number 9, Hornblower. Field for race 7, scratch the 9, 6 minutes till post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Behold takes the lead. Captain Smitty and Rambo Robbie and Sterling, Ohio up on the outside. Here comes Canvasback Rival, the late lever. Dance on Air, Alante Spur, and Ever Easy. As they move to the quarter-mile pole, we'll see how good Canvasback Rival is tonight as he charges up on the outside of Behold. Behold by 2. Canvasback is grabbing leather. Captain Smitty coming through along the inside. Opening up here, 27 seconds flat. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Behold has got him throttled down in behind. Behold on top. Canvasback can't wait any longer. He's coming again. Captain Smitty now moves off from between horses. As they move around the paddock turn, they're all jammed up now as Captain Smitty tries to decide what to do. Should I come out? Should I stay in? I think I'll come out. They're at the half-mile pole. Behold, Captain Smitty up on the outside. Back on the attack, Sterling, Ohio. Canvasback Rival, 4th on the outside, gapping cover. Here's Ever Easy along the rail. Rambo Robbie between horses. Dance on Air is up on the outside on Alante Spur. 56 and 2, they're down the back stretch. 3 parts of a length for Behold. Right alongside in second, Captain Smitty. Sterling, Ohio is gaining. Here comes Ever Easy with a rush. Ever Easy on the far outside of Behold now gets command in 125 and 2. Moving around the far turn. Quickly taking off with about a 5-length lead. It's Ever Easy. Dance on Air is the next challenger. Further out comes Alante Spur as the field straightens away. Mike Wilder is all over Ever Easy. Aptly named in here. This is Ever Easy. He's on top by 10. It's Ever Easy. Sterling, Ohio along the rail will get up second. Finishing third, the 7, Dance on Air. Here's the unofficial winner, number 8, Ever Easy. 5-year-old bay gelding by Amity Chef out of Immortal. Owned by Charles and William Wingfield of Kenton and Ridgeway. Trained by Brad Crates. Driven tonight by Mike Wilder to a rocking chair drive victory in 154 and 2 to establish a lifetime best. Number 8, Ever Easy, the winner. 3, Sterling, Ohio was second. 7, Dance on Air was third. 6, Alante Spur was fourth. Result of the 7th, now official. Windows are open on the 8th. Del S. Miller will drive 7, Gleave. Del S. Miller to drive 7, Gleave. Nobody had tonight's twin try. We'll have the carryover for Monday in just a second. Post time is 10 o'clock. Next post, 10 o'clock. On the track and parading to the post. Very nice bunch of 3-year-olds in here. Nice segue. Speaking about 3-year-olds, how about Jug Preview 2 weeks from tonight? September the 6th, Jug Preview. Here comes the field for tonight's 8th race. Number 1, Pops Creek. Owned by Tony N. Boroff-Hayner, driven by David Hawk. 2, I'm Steven, owned by Charles Brannigan with David Miller. 3, Haley's Yak Yak, owned by John Roby, Gary Chafin, Benson Albaum, the driver Brad Hanners. 4, Direct Zambro, owned by Gene Campbell and Mike Wilder. 5, Grin Reaper, owned by Dave Rankin, Ellicott Shaker Motors with David Rankin in the bike. 6, Our Star Lane, owned by Leonard Buckner with David Myers. 7 is Gleave, owned by Fred Huff Jr., driver changed to Del S. Miller. 8, Hercules Sabra, owned by Jerome Grogan. Jeff Fout will bring this horse out of post position number 8. 5 minutes till post time. Field for 8 is at the gate and moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Pops Creek takes the lead. I'm Steven between horses. Grin Reaper up on the outside. Glebe on the far outside. Fourth there down the backstretch. Haley's Yak Yak Direct Zombro, followed by R Star Lane and Hercules Sabra. Really got a scramble royal here to the quarter-mile pole. Forging to the front. Glebe on the far outside. Grin Reaper is in between horses. Second and along the rail, Pops Creek. 28-1, moving past the stands to the half-mile pole. Moving away on top, 3 parts of a length, it's Glebe. Back on the attack, Grin Reaper. Followed by the rail, 3-year-old Pops Creek. It's I'm Steven in fourth. Past the stands, Haley's Yak Yak in fifth. Direct Zombro swings up on the outside. Hercules Sabra and R Star Lane. Around the penthouse turn to the half-mile pole. Grin Reaper continues to lead the way. Here's I'm Steven. We'll see if he can win from off the pace tonight in 56-4. They straighten out for their long journey down the backstretch. Still in command, 3 parts of a length, Grin Reaper. Here's I'm Steven moving up on the outside. Second, Haley's Yak Yak coming on the outside to third. Glebe skims the pylons. Fourth, Direct Zombro is underway. Followed by Pops Creek. Back of the pack, Hercules Sabra in our Star Lane. Side by side and stride for stride into 3/4 in a quick 1:25-2. Around the far turn, I'm Steven driving wide and hard, pokes ahead in front. Grin Reaper gives way with a rush on the outside. Haley's Yak Yak. They're fanned out 8 wide in the drive. Grin Reaper trying to fight back. I'm Steven game in the center with a rush on the outside. Here comes Haley's Yak Yak closing quickly on the rail. Glebe. All-out war here. It's Grin Reaper and Haley's Yak Yak. Grin Reaper in front. Here comes the unofficial winner of the 8th. Number 5, Grin Reaper, a 3-year-old bay colt by Die Laughing out of Rella, Hanover. Owned by Dave Rankin and Ellicott Shaker Motors of Thornville and Beechwood, Ohio. Driven and trained by Dave Rankin to cover the mile in 1:54-1 and establish a lifetime best. Number 5, Grin Reaper, the winner of tonight's 8th race. 5-3 exacta, 44 even. The trifecta, 306.40, 306.40. Mile here, 1:54-1. Windows are open on tonight's 9th race. Field of 8 and no program changes. Post time will be in 17 minutes at 10:22. Here's a rundown of the 8th, Pops Creek. 8th, I'm Steven. 5th, Haley's Yak Yak. 2nd, Direct Zombro. 7th, Grin Reaper the winner. R Star Lane 6th, Glebe. 3rd, Hercules Sabra was 4th. 8-5-2, 7-1-6-3 and 4. The mile 1:54-1. Wednesday night, come out and see the great Niatros. Niatros, one of the greatest horses of all time, will be here for the night on Wednesday night. Here comes the field for race 9, number 1, TNT Hanover, owned by Mel Riviello, Randy Owens, and Richard Van Meter. Driven by Mike Wilder. 2, Adonijah, owned by Molly Farmer and Joanne Armbruster with Scott Logan. 3, Broadway Clamor, owned by Darby's Ed Stable, John Kohler, driven by Del S. Miller. 4, Greystone Paycheck, owned by Jeff Gibson and David Decker with David Hawk. Number 5, Boyle Elmhurst, owned by Roy Mac Davis and the bike Bob Harper. 6, Dusty Plains, owned and driven by Dan Ader. Number 7, TMJ, now owned by Victoria Howard with David Miller. Number 8, Keep On Truckin' Sam, owned by Charles Autry. Brad Hanners will be in the sulky. Field for race 9, 6 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Boyle Elmerhurst, Adonijah out for lead. TMJ on the extreme outside, and TNT Hanover along the rail. They're down the backstretch. Broadway Clamor moves in to be fourth, and after that it's Greystone, Paycheck, Dusty Plains, and Keep On Truckin' Sam. Boyle Elmerhurst has grabbed the racetrack. Boyle Elmerhurst on top, Adonijah second, followed by TMJ in third. After that it's TNT Hanover fourth, and Broadway Clamor. Greystone, Dusty Plains, and Keep On Truckin' Sam, a moderate 28 seconds flat, racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Boyle Elmerhurst for Bobby Harper cut this one out by themselves. It's Boyle Elmerhurst on top, a length and a half, and Adonijah sits the pocket second. Here comes TMJ on the outside, third underway, Broadway Clamor fourth. Here comes Greystone up on the outside along the rail, TNT Hanover. Dusty Plains is gapping seventh. Keep On Truckin' Sam is riding the tailgate. They're at the half-mile pole in 57-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Boyle Elmerhurst leads the way. TMJ continues to pick up rivals on the outside. Second, Adonijah can't go on in third. Followed by TNT Hanover back on the attack fourth. Riding up on the outside, Broadway Clamor, Greystone, Paycheck toward the rail, Dusty Plains, and Keep On Truckin' Sam. Boyle Elmerhurst all out leads away from TMJ in 125-1. Moving around the far turn, the top two begin to get away. Here comes TMJ on the outside. Boyle Elmerhurst along the rail. On the far outside, here comes Greystone, Paycheck. They're into the stretch. Boyle Elmerhurst brings them on home. Feeling the left-handed whip of David Miller. TMJ on the outside is trying to close in. TMJ and Boyle Elmerhurst. TMJ gets there. Here's the unofficial winner of tonight's ninth race, 7 TMJ. 6-year-old bay gelding by flight director out of Windtross, now owned in Morgantown, West Virginia, by Victoria Howard, giving trainer Virgil Morgan his fourth on the program and a cart trick for David Miller. Covering the mile here in 153-2. 7 TMJ, the unofficial winner of tonight's ninth race. Featured pace of the evening for the older guys. Start of the final pick 3. Sponsored. Here comes the field for race 10. Start of the final pick 3. 7 minutes till post time. This race sponsored weekly by Budget Car and Truck Rental. Number 1 is Fantastic Frisky, owned by Kermit Buddy Travis. Dallas Miller drives. 2 Hour General, owned by Kevin and Jeff Reed and Dean Collins. 3 is Speculum, owned by Dan Meyer and Orville Schroeder with Brad Hanners. 4 Buckeye Cy, owned by David Bainter, David Miller aboard. 5 Noble Ho, owned by the Red Land Stable and Thomas York with Dan Ader. 6 is Hoosier Wiz, owned by the White Creek Stable of Bill White. Dave Hawk will be in the sulky. Field 4, race 10, start of the final pick 3, 6 minutes till post. Our General, Speculum, Buckeye Cy, Noble Ho and Hoosier Wiz. Field of 6 at the gate. It is post time. Field's moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Hoosier Wiz on the far outside. Followed quickly on the rail by Fantastic Frisky. They're down the backstretch. Our General, Speculum, Buckeye Cy, and Noble Ho. And Hoosier Wiz got the racetrack in 5 steps. Hoosier Wiz quickly draws off by about 3. Fantastic Frisky moves in to be second. Followed by Our General in third. Speculum is fourth. Our General is going to come and test Hoosier Wiz tonight. And we're off to the races now, 28-1. Quickly past the stands to the half-mile pole. Our General can't go on. Hoosier Wiz is there by 3. Brad Hanners tugs the right line. Speculum comes to the outside. Buckeye Cy and Noble Ho all are up to take on the every step pace setter Hoosier Wiz. Around the clubhouse turn to the half-mile pole. Hoosier Wiz on top by 2. The gray is in there, second, Fantastic Frisky. Being carted up on the outside, Speculum third, Buckeye Cy fourth. Our General can't pull Rankies back into fifth. Noble Ho on the outside, 57-2. Up the backstretch, Hoosier Wiz may have stolen another one. Hoosier Wiz bouncing right along. Driving up on the outside, Speculum second. Fantastic Frisky is on the bit to third. Buckeye Cy on the outside. Noble Ho picks up live cover in Our General. Double-deckered into three quarters in 125-3. Hawkman lets out a notch and could bid this field ta-ta. Little more than an eighth of a mile to drive. Hoosier Wiz continues to lead the way. Speculum doing his best in second. Buckeye Cy on the far outside, third, 70 yards to the finish. It's still Hoosier Wiz. Speculum on the outside. David Hawk gave this field the no-dos. Hoosier Wiz put him to sleep. Close for second, Buckeye Cy over Speculum. 10th race, 6 Hoosier Wiz. 7-year-old bay horse by Abercrombie out of Way to Be. Owned in Palm Beach Garden, Florida by Bill White's White Creek Stable. Trained by Ron Potter. Given another flawless drive by Dave Hawk. Covering the mountain 153-3 to equal his lifetime best and make it 4 in a row. 6 Hoosier Wiz the winner. No violation concerning 4 Buckeye Cy. 3 Speculum was third. 5 Noble Ho fourth. Result of race 10 now official. Windows are open on the 11th race. Middle leg of the late pick 3. No changes in race 11. 12th race scratch 3 Keystone Reno. Post time 11:04. 6-4 exacta $20.80 in the try. $71.60. Here's a field for tonight's 11th race, penultimate race on the program. No changes, exacta and trifecta. 1 Daddy Shadow owned by Rhonda Stidham and Robert and Francis DeMeo with Rocky Stidham. 2 Parkham Mark owned by Jerome Grogan with Randy Tharps. 3 Dozier Hanover owned by Scott Glandon, Brad and Mark Ader. National Trail Investment Company with Dan Ader. 4 I'm a Bad Man owned by B.L. Conway and Mark Evers. 5 Hey Sam owned by Pal Pack Stables, driven by Brad Hanners. 6 Such a Fuss, owned by Alex Spence Jr. and driven by David Hawk. Number 8 Princeton Spur, owned by Charles Autry with Bob Harper. 8 Midnight Heat, owned by Victoria Howard. David Miller will be in the sulky. Field for race 11, 6 minutes until post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Such a Fuss on the far outside takes the lead. Parker Mark between horses. Daddy Shadow. Midnight Heat's got some early kick tonight. They're down the backstretch, and here's Hey Sam to challenge early on. Daddy Shadow followed up by Dozier Hanover. I'm a Bad Man and Princeton Spur, and we're off to the rodeo in here. Hey Sam with a rush on the outside now gets the lead from Such a Fuss. Parkham Mark moves in to be third. Still on the outside, Midnight Heat fourth, and Daddy Shadow parking him. They open up here in a quick 27-1. Field of 8 on gate, racing past the stands to the half-mile pole, and Hey Sam is out on top for Brad Hanners. Hey Sam will try to make every pole a winning one. Parkham Mark drives up on the outside with Daddy Shadow. Such a Fuss is going to get caught. Midnight Heat is now buried. Up on the far outside, I'm a Bad Man, Dozier, Hanover, and trailing the field, Princeton Spur. Side by side and stride for strut at the half-mile pole in 57-2. Hey Sam will take this octet down the backstretch. Bouncing right along, it's Hey Sam. Eyeing him up on the outside, Parkham Mark the second. The white hood belongs to Such a Fuss in third. Daddy Shadow being dragged along in fourth, carting up on the outside, I'm a Bad Man. Midnight Heat, Dozier, Hanover, far outside, Princeton Spur just for the yale of it. Racing by 3/4. Hey Sam looking strong on top, takes him by 3/4, 126-4. Moving around the far turn, it's Hey Sam on top. Such a Fuss, Midnight Heat's going to get the passing lane. Parkham Mark gives way up on the far outside. Daddy Shadow. Brad Hanner's got away from him. He's opened up 5. He's long gone. It's Hey Sam on top by a good margin. Passing lane for Midnight Heat and Such a Fuss in the center. Brad Hanner's looking over, and nobody's coming to this guy tonight. It's Hey Sam, Midnight Heat, and close for third. Such a Fuss over Dozier Hanover. Here comes the winner of tonight's 11th race, number 5, Hey Sam. 5-year-old bay son of Noble and Sam out of Lady Love Toy. Owned in Ottawa by the Pell Pack Stables, trained by David Stratton, given a heady drive by Brad Hanners. To cover the mile here in 1:54.1 and establish a lifetime best, number 5, Hey Sam, the winner of tonight's 11th race. That'll give Brad Hanners a driving double, having won the second race tonight with Let's Rock. 5.8 exacta, $21.80, $21.80. The trifecta, $196.40. Windows are now open on race 12. Scratch number 3, Keystone Reno, scratch the 3. Superfecta wagering, post time, a las 11:24, post time 11:24. Superfecta Pacers are at the gate. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Charging Chuck on the far outside. Takes the lead in Senior Sam along the rail. My Toy GHC parked in driving from third and Look Tony fourth. Followed by Swango. After that is Capable Leader and Carolina Sam as they are rolling to the quarter-mile pole. Charging Chuck, aptly named so far, there by 2.5. Senior Sam can't go on second. Wrecking back into third, My Toy GHC. They open up here in a quick 27-3. Past the stands, they roll to the half-mile pole. The 3 favorites are out on top. Bouncing right along is Charging Chuck. Senior Sam gets the Siesta in second. Followed by My Toy GHC in third. The one is off stride, Look Tony. Back on the attack, Swango up on the outside. Carolina Sam, Capable Leader, and Look Tony. Around the clubhouse, turn to the half-mile pole. Charging Chuck in the Senior. Second bit on the outside, My Toy GHC. 58 seconds flat. They straighten out for their journey down the backstretch. Bouncing right along, and he has been there every step of the way. Charging Chuck. My Toy GHC is up on the outside second. Senior Sam is now waiting from third. Swango is fourth up on the outside. Carolina Sam, Capable Leader, and the 3-year-old Look Tony. Moving by 3/4. Dan Ader opens up some daylight in 1:26.2. Senior Samno is on the attack. Dropping back My Toy GHC. Here comes Swango up on the outside and Capable Leader along the rail. Little more than a 16th of a mile to pace. Charging Chuck on top. Senior Sam can't go on. Swango is up on the outside. Capable Leader on the far outside. It's going to be Charging Chuck, Swango, Capable Leader, and Senior Sam fourth.
Social occasion right there with the leaders. On the inside, Fox Valley Snake, Anxious Debonair, without cover, Al Tiburon. Into the outer flow and now poised for the stretch drive. 3/4, 1:27 even. They've got 3/16 to go. Micro Plus under pressure from Wooly Bully. Wooly Bully relentless. Micro Plus is full out. Final eighth of a mile.
Buzz Riders calling the Pacers
Miller keeping them alive. Wooly Bully and Manzi. They'll come down to the line together. And now Micro Plus is drawing clear in the final yards to win it.
down. Look Tony 7, Senior Sam 4th, Keystone Scratch, My Choi GHC 6, Swango was 2nd, Capable Leader 3rd, Carolina Sam 5th, and Chargin' Chuck was the winner.